beef with Eminem. Ain't no rapper popping nothing about Eminem. Ain't nobody saying nothing. I'm not even gonna say nothing bad about Eminem, cause way too much stuff rhymes with rock, alright? But Eminem don't even like his own mama. So Lord knows what he'll say about your black ass, okay? And Eminem's a white rapper, so his record gonna be on every station, the country station, the talk station. The black rappers just on Hot 97. Now you gotta watch where you sit, everybody. Can't sit 50 then Ja Rule. You can't sit Jay-Z then Nas. Everybody gotta watch out for. You got the Olsen twins over there, so then you gotta put R. Kelly way up there.
See, Eminem wasn't just another rapper chasing fame. He came up straight out of Detroit's toughest streets, where surviving was already a victory. This guy fought through chaos that would break most people, and he still rose to the top like a force of nature. That's not regular toughness, that's legend-level energy, the kind of presence that commands respect before he even says a word. People knew, when M walked into a room, it shifted the air instantly. But this story, oh, it runs deep, way deeper than that Oscars slap could ever reach. Before the world turned that night into meme history, Will Smith was sitting at the very top of Hollywood's throne. He was the golden boy. Clean image, blockbuster movies, and a smile that could sell anything. Back in the late 90s, when MTV ruled the culture and everyone was bumping CDs, Will Smith had the industry in a chokehold.
Connect to the performance of my music. I don't have the trophies that match how big the actual records are. The one Grammy I have is for Crack a Bottle. I couldn't even have that without him. You know, and that's why I have so much value for him, not just in my career, just in my life, because he's a guy that, one of my best friends, because I can trust that he's gonna be honest with his constructive criticism when it's time to listen to the music before it goes out. He's the only person that did things that I wanted to do. He had the Marshall Mathers LP with 23 million records sold with flags all around the plaque, and I was like, yo, I want that kind of.
He flipped that Fresh Prince charisma into serious power with monster hits like Men in Black and Independence Day. He wasn't just famous, he was the moment. The man went from sitcom star to international icon faster than anyone could believe. And here's the wildest part. Will pulled off something unheard of in hip-hop back then. He went multi-platinum with zero profanity, zero scandals, and zero beefs. Just smooth flow, fun hooks, and pure good vibes. His 1997 album Big Willie Style didn't just climb the charts, it owned them. The guy was unstoppable. Will Smith wasn't just winning, he was straight up dominating. His album sold over 10 million copies across the globe.
Black rappers just on Hot 97. Now you gotta watch where you sit, everybody. Can't sit 50 then Ja Rule. You can't sit Jay-Z then Nas. Everybody gotta watch out for. You got the Olsen twins over there, so then you gotta put R. Kelly way up there.
And when Millennium dropped in 1999, it hit even harder. That project scored him another Grammy and proved to the world that you didn't need to act hard or spit violent bars to run the rap game. Will carried that success like a badge of honor, head high, grin wide, walking like he'd cracked the secret formula to superstardom. So when he took the stage at the 42nd Annual Grammy Awards in February 2000 and declared, "I have never used profanity in my records. Rap doesn't need to be filled with curses to succeed," the crowd lost it. People cheered like he'd just redefined the whole culture right there on live TV. But behind all that applause and flashing cameras, not everyone was clapping, because way out in Detroit, something dangerous was brewing. And it was about to blow up big time. That same year, a 26-year-old Marshall Mathers, the world would soon know him as Eminem, unleashed the Slim Shady LP.
Not everybody is as happy as Will Smith. If you feel strong enough about something, then you might put a little before you say exactly what you're saying.
And let's be real, this wasn't just an album, it was pure chaos wrapped in sound. Every track felt like stepping inside someone's wildest thoughts. Dark, emotional, and brutally honest. It wasn't polished or picture perfect, it was messy, raw, and impossible to ignore. Slim Shady didn't come to play nice or fit into anyone's family-friendly mold. He represented the other side of life. The pain, the rage, the grind, and the truth that most people tried to hide. He was the voice for the unheard, the reflection of everything society pretended didn't exist. Eminem was everything Will Smith wasn't: unfiltered, explosive, and completely unpredictable. He didn't just rap from the heart, he tore the whole system apart with his words. So when Eminem heard Will say that line about how rap didn't need profanity to succeed, yeah, that hit a nerve. To M, it didn't sound like a harmless comment. It felt personal, like a slick jab aimed straight at rappers like him, the ones who didn't have sitcom money, big movie deals, or a Hollywood safety net. These were the artists grinding from the ground up, spilling their pain, their struggle, and their truth into the mic just to be heard.
Claims to have seen it all happen. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Yeah, all I know is I'm upstairs, I'm listening to my Will Smith CD, and I seen all these flames going everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Hold on a minute, bitch.
You're destroying the
hey, hold on a minute.
Right.
Yo, Detroit what? Detroit what?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Detroit, baby.
So yeah, M took that seriously. And that's when the talk started heating up in the industry. Word spread fast. Whispers about tension brewing between Detroit's most fearless rapper and Hollywood's cleanest superstar. Something real was bubbling under the surface, and everybody could feel it. People who were around back then still swear those days were wild. One story even goes, Suge Knight showed up with a whole crew and I was there with my homies. Eminem was there too, and trust me, M was ready to throw down. That's how hot things got. Eminem had already flipped the whole rap game upside down, calling out whoever stood in his way. But some folks thought he was taking shots at the entire gangsta rap image itself, and that didn't sit right with everyone. The tension was thick, the kind that made people look over their shoulder wondering what might pop off next. Then came the moment that changed everything. 2000, when Eminem dropped the real Slim Shady. He wasn't holding anything back. He came out swinging, bold as ever, throwing shots where everyone could hear them. And then came that bar.
No beef with Eminem. Ain't no rapper popping nothing about Eminem. Ain't nobody saying nothing. I'm not even gonna say nothing bad about Eminem, cause way too much stuff rhymes with rock, alright? But Eminem don't even like his own mama. So Lord knows what he'll say about your black ass, okay? And Eminem's a white rapper, so his record's gonna be on every station, the country station, the talk station.
The one that froze the whole music world in place. Will Smith don't got to cuss in his raps to sell records? Well, I do, so forget him and forget you too. Boom! That line hit like a lightning strike. It was sharp, gutsy, and shook the entire industry to its core. Radio stations scrambled to bleep it, parents went wild trying to ban it, and critics couldn't stop talking. But the youth? Oh, they ate it up. Kids were shouting those lyrics word for word in school halls, playgrounds, and buses like it was a battle cry. That line didn't just call out Will, it defined a generation of rap rebellion. That line from Eminem wasn't just a casual jab, it was a bold declaration. He aimed it straight at the squeaky clean, family-friendly image that Will Smith had built his whole career around, and everyone in the industry knew it. M wasn't doing it for clout or headlines. He was setting a boundary, loud and proud. His message was crystal clear. He wasn't here to play nice, follow Hollywood's playbook, or keep anyone comfortable. He was showing the world that he'd rather stand alone in chaos than blend in with the safe crowd. But this whole tension wasn't just about clean versus explicit lyrics. It ran way deeper than that. That one bar cracked open a much bigger conversation about power, about who really earned their place at the top of hip-hop. Because while Will Smith was flying private jets to movie sets, smiling on red carpets, and living that flawless superstar life, Eminem was fighting battles most people couldn't even imagine. Eminem wasn't living a luxury story. He was surviving one. He was dealing with lawsuits left and right, dodging real threats, wrestling with addiction, and getting censored every time he dropped a track. Each verse he wrote came from scars and survival, not some polished studio formula. He wasn't out chasing trophies or trying to fit in with Hollywood's perfect image. That wasn't him. Eminem was building his empire from raw honesty, pain, and straight up skill. Every rhyme was proof that he could stand against the whole system and still win. And at the end of the day, what M really wanted was simple. Respect. Not the fake kind that comes from fame, but the kind that's earned from being real, fearless, and surviving when life tried to knock you out. With that one slick lyrical punch, he didn't just drop a diss. He lit a fuse that had the whole world talking. Fans started wondering if Will might have actually felt threatened by him. People whispered, what would have gone down if they ever faced each other for real? The thought alone had everyone buzzing, because that clash would have been unforgettable. To Hollywood, Eminem looked like a walking punchline at first. A loud, unpredictable dude with bleached hair and a mic in his hand, spitting like he had nothing left to lose. To them, he was just noise wrapped in chaos. A wild storm with no direction. Will Smith, like a lot of people back then, might probably figured M was just another shock rapper who'd crash the scene, stir some controversy, and disappear just as fast. But behind the cameras and headlines, that couldn't have been further from the truth. By 1999, in the heart of Detroit, Eminem wasn't running on hype. He had real backing. He was surrounded by people whose names carried serious weight, not just in music, but in the streets. And right beside him stood his brother in every sense, Deshaun Proof Holton, a name that echoed through the city. Proof wasn't just Eminem's hype man or ride or die. He was a certified legend on Detroit's East Side, a lyrical beast in the battle rap scene, the frontman of D12, and someone who earned his stripes through grit and respect. See, D12 wasn't just another rap crew. They had presence. They were street proven, respected, and known for keeping it real. When Proof spoke, people listened. And when Eminem made moves, Proof was the one making sure those moves were handled right. He wasn't there just to protect. He made sure M's name carried weight where it truly mattered. In spots where fame didn't mean a thing and toughness spoke louder than money. Proof was the bridge that kept everything solid. Proof wasn't just a friend. He was M's shield and voice between two completely different worlds. The industry's flash and Detroit's raw grind. In a city where one wrong look or one wrong step could end a career, or worse. Proof kept them safe, focused, and respected. Thanks to him, Eminem didn't just survive Detroit, he earned Detroit's love. Eminem wasn't treated like an outsider trying to play tough. He was treated like family. The city had his back because they saw something real in him. No fake persona, no act, just authenticity and drive. And that street respect became his foundation. But his rise, that was just getting started. Because in 1998, hip-hop royalty himself, Dr. Dre, took a chance that would shake the whole music world. Signing Eminem to Aftermath Entertainment was more than a business move. It was a power play that changed rap forever. From that moment, the game would never be the same again. That deal didn't just shake up the rap game, it flipped the whole industry upside down. Dr. Dre, already a certified icon thanks to his NWA legacy and the Death Row Records era, had just discovered his next major force. With Dre's flawless production, business genius, and deep industry connections, Eminem skyrocketed from Detroit's underground battle circuits to a nationwide phenomenon. Suddenly, every label, every artist, and every critic had to pay attention. And because Slim Shady had arrived and he wasn't backing down. Meanwhile, Will Smith had no idea what was forming behind the curtain. Beneath that wild, cartoonish Slim Shady persona, Eminem was quietly building something massive. He wasn't just a rapper trying to stir chaos for attention. He was constructing an empire, a real one, with strategy, alliances, and layers of influence that stretched deep into the music world. This wasn't about shock value anymore. This was about power, protection, and positioning. Eminem had built one of the strongest support networks in the business, with people who believed in his vision and stood behind him no matter what, and that made him untouchable in ways few could understand. This wasn't just about dropping hard lyrics, it was about creating a movement that couldn't be controlled by Hollywood or the industry suits. By the time 2000 rolled around, Eminem wasn't just spitting about struggle, he was living it. That summer things got real serious when he was arrested after a heated altercation outside the Hot Rock Sports Bar in Warren, Michigan. Reports said there was a pistol involved, and this wasn't some staged drama or marketing trick. This was real life unfolding right in front of the world. Every headline, every rumor, every court photo. It was proof that Eminem wasn't just rhyming about chaos, he was surviving it. Eminem was fighting battles on every front, both in the studio and out in the streets. Every move he made proved his life wasn't just about fame or chasing charts. It was about survival. Every headline that dragged his name, every verse that cut deep, every real-life clash he faced, it all showed he was built for chaos and ready to face anyone who stepped in his way. By 2002, things reached a whole new level, where the empire was in full motion. A rising powerhouse from Queens, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, linked up with Eminem's Shady Records and Dr. Dre's Aftermath Entertainment, and that partnership flipped the entire hip-hop world on its head. This wasn't just music anymore. This was domination, a full-blown movement that sent shockwaves through every corner of the industry. The streets could feel it. Something massive was coming, and nobody could stop it. Eminem didn't hesitate for a second bringing 50 into the family. He saw something raw, fearless, and magnetic in him, a hunger that reminded him of himself. And with Dre's unmatched production game and Interscope's muscle behind them, they built something unstoppable. G-Unit. Together, Shady Records, Aftermath, and G-Unit formed a triangle of power so solid it could crush competition or protect its circle with chilling precision. When Eminem dropped a verse, it wasn't just his voice hitting the track anymore, it was a movement. Behind him stood an entire force. Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, Proof, D12, Jimmy Iovine, and a whole squad of strategists, lawyers, and industry masterminds who knew exactly how to make power moves. It wasn't just rap anymore. It was chess, and every bar was a calculated strike. Eminem had built a fortress, one part street energy, one part business genius, and every part unstoppable. But even with all that power surrounding him, Eminem's toughest challenge didn't come from charts or rival rappers. It came from the shadows of Death Row Records, because still moving in that world was Suge Knight, the legendary co-founder whose name alone could make the toughest people in the business go silent. Suge wasn't a myth or an exaggeration. He was real, and his reputation for intimidation had the whole industry on edge. When Suge's name came up, people listened, and everyone knew trouble might not be far behind. In the early 2000s, Suge Knight's name alone could shake a whole room. Executives, rappers, even bodyguards. Everybody tensed up whenever he came up in conversation. But Eminem, he didn't flinch. Not even for a second. He wasn't the type to fold under pressure, no matter who was standing across from him. According to Compton rapper The Game, one night things got real. Suge and his crew rolled up uninvited. Lights dimmed, the air got heavy, and the whole spot went silent. Suge walked in like he owned the building, his whole squad behind him, and everyone instantly felt the shift. Some people quietly slipped out the back, others froze in place, just hoping nothing would break out. But Eminem, he didn't move an inch. He stood his ground, eyes locked, completely unshaken, staring down a man who made most of the industry nervous. That moment showed something powerful. Eminem wasn't just a rapper spitting bars anymore. He was a leader, a man shaped by struggle, backed by real strength, and fearless enough to stand face to face with Suge Knight himself. And he wasn't alone. Right next to him stood 50 Cent, the definition of street-bred confidence. 50 didn't blink, didn't take a step back. He matched M's energy, ready for whatever came next. No hesitation, no fake bravado. Just two men standing firm in the middle of a moment that could have gone sideways fast. That scene wasn't just about pride or ego. It was a symbol of power, unity, and fearlessness in a room where almost everyone else froze. Suge Knight built his entire empire on fear. His reputation alone made people think twice before even saying his name out loud. He moved through the music world like a storm. Powerful, unpredictable, and respected for all the wrong reasons. But then came this one moment that flipped the script. A white kid from Detroit standing in front of him, unshaken and unafraid. Eminem didn't blink, didn't fake it, didn't back up an inch. He wasn't acting tough for the cameras. He had the mindset, the loyalty, and the team to stand his ground for real. And then came the twist nobody saw coming. Most fans figured Eminem's security team was just the usual. Suits, sunglasses, and earpieces. The kind of guys you see shadowing celebrities at red carpets or tour stops. But behind the scenes, things ran way deeper than that. There was a whole different kind of protection in play, one that didn't make it into tabloids or interviews. People who really knew the street started whispering that M's crew wasn't your average group of hired guards. They were serious. Word spread that he had real alliances out west, not just business contracts or security deals. According to insiders, Eminem was connected with Samoan crews in Los Angeles, tight-knit groups known for unity, strength, and never backing down from anyone. Now, whether he paid for that protection or earned it through respect, nobody could say for sure. But one thing was clear, this wasn't some celebrity bodyguard setup. This was real muscle. The crew had a name that carried serious weight across the West Coast, the Samoan Army, active in South Central LA. Since the 90s, they weren't just known for being tough. They were disciplined, loyal, and moved like a family. Wherever Eminem went, they were right there, silent, alert, and ready for anything. They weren't just security, they were a wall of loyalty, a presence that made people think twice before even looking at M the wrong way. They didn't need to flash badges or flex. Their reputation alone kept things cool around him. In a world where danger could come from anywhere, that crew made Eminem practically untouchable. Meanwhile, across the glitz of Hollywood, Will Smith was living a completely different story. By 2001, he wasn't just a movie star. He was the polished symbol of success itself, starring in back-to-back blockbusters, hosting major award shows, shaking hands with global leaders, and flashing that picture-perfect smile beside presidents and diplomats. His life was the definition of smooth and spotless. While Eminem was out here walking through chaos with real street muscle, Will was shining under studio lights, untouchable in a whole other way. Clean, charming, and perfectly camera ready. If you've been vibing with this story, make sure to hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and share this video with someone who loves hip-hop drama as much as you do. More wild industry stories and behind-the-scenes truths are coming. You don't want to miss what's next.